Hi, welcome to my video. Today I'm sketching some dragons from my imagination. I used a couple photos like of alligators and turtles and stuff for reference to kind of see the lizardy sort of look. Don't know why I didn't look up lizards, that's weird, but I did just look up like alligators because I wanted to know what the underneath of like where the mouth and the belly were, especially for this one because I have this big illustration planned and I wanted to practice doing dragons because there's a dragon in it. And I specifically need to know like what the belly part looks like and what I should make that look like. So I was kind of trying a few different ones and then I thought, well, let me just make a sketch page because it doesn't hurt to like practice a bunch before you do something big like that so you feel really confident, I thought. So that's why I'm doing this one. So I hope you like it. I know it's different from the last one because I'm not using references, I'm just using my brain. So I hope it's interesting. But I'm doing a similar kind of style where I'm still hooked on doing just like a wash of kind of basic color with marker underneath, and then mostly using color pencil to do all the rendering and detail. And it's really mostly a color pencil kind of deal. And once again, I'm using Ohuhu markers and mostly Prismacolor color pencils and Faber-Castell color pencils, and also my Holbein pencils. But you know how I'm pretty precious about those. I don't like to use them too much, but I am trying because I know you're supposed to use art supplies that you have, even if they're fancy and you got them for Christmas and you really, really love them and you don't want them to ever go away. So with this, with drawing from my imagination, it's obviously harder to pick what different colors I want to put places versus when I draw stuff when I'm just sketching for practice from references or whatever. I can have something to look at and go, okay, well, like that color, I can see like a purplish color there, so I'm gonna enhance that with the color pencils. I can not really do that when it's in my brain. Obviously, I have to like make that up. So I just have to rely on where I think the light would be coming from and sort of go with like cool tones and warm tones from based on the light, if that makes any sense. I hope it does. So that's kind of what I did. So I was a little more conservative about doing the colors, especially on the first one. I kind of just stuck with like, okay, let's do green, like let's do a little bit of purple, a little bit of yellow, some layering and stuff. And then here I was just trying to figure out where to put everything because last time my sketch page didn't turn out to be like as aesthetically pleasing as I wanted it to be. So I was trying to just, I'm trying to make them a little bit better. I'm working on making like sketch pages because I never used to do that. I just always just did one drawing on a page. So I'm working on that. So anyways, this is the second dragon, which is my most favorite dragon, and I wanted to do purple. I kind of wanted to make each one a different environment that they live in. So the first one lives in like the mountains, classic mountain dragon. This one is a flying dragon that flies. I don't know, I guess this one probably lives in the mountains too, now that I think about it. And the next one is like a desert kind of one. And then the last one is going to be an ocean one, just because I wanted to switch it up. And I also wanted to make the colors different and make sure I made them all different, you know, so it looked cool on the page. Again, coming back to like I wanted to make the sketch page look nice. Yeah, and just trying to work with different colors and making everything flow. So when I do these sketch pages, I'm mostly just trying to practice stuff and like try things out so that I can get better, which I think that's what everybody's doing when they draw. Sorry. Anyways, this is like an antique pink kind of color that I used, and it's my favorite color. And also the secondary color that I use on this dragon is also one of my favorite colors in all of the markers. I don't know why I just always come back to it. I always use it. I really like it, like dusty pink, and like I really like muted tones. So yeah, and then I decided to mix that with a yellow, and I was like, let me try and do some little scales on the bottom. Because again, I was trying to think about like what does the stomach look like? What kind of shapes can I make this dragon be in? Yeah, so I went over with the yellow and then I started to really like it, and that's why this one is my favorite. Also the way the tail is shaped and the like hands and the feet, for some reason I liked that. But yeah, so this dragon is pinky purple and lumpy. And I just wanted to say from the last video that I did, the sketching cats one, the response was really good and I was so happy. I've never had a video do that well before and just like so thankful. So if you watched that video and if you commented and or liked it and if you followed me from it, I would just say thank you so much because it really meant a lot to me and I'm really appreciate it. And thank you so much also for watching this video right now. So I started to get more adventurous with the colors on this one because I had warmed up from doing the last dragon. So I threw a little bit of teal in there, a little bit of orange and peachy kind of colors, and I think that's a reason why I liked it a lot better too. But sometimes you just got to do warm up to get comfortable with doing that, So, and I sort of used the sky color to fade in the tail to the back so it looks in the distant, like it's in the distance. And I thought that looked really cool and I was really happy about how that looks far away. So yeah, so this is the desert style dragon, I guess. This one lives in sandy, really hot climates. That's what I was thinking of. I wanted it to be mostly like orangey brownish with a hint of color. It ended up being a lot more rainbowy, as you'll see, than I would have liked. And I also didn't love how the face and head kind of turned out. I don't know. I just didn't. This actually I did on the next day. So this is kind of like another warm up one, sort of, but it's definitely better than the first one to me in my head. I like how the feet, it has multiple feet. I like how it's turned, like the formation of the pose, the like formation of the body. But I just didn't really, I don't know, something about the face and head. I just didn't really love it. And I wish I had added maybe some wings or maybe some horns or something to just indicate more dragon, a little less lizard. It was a bit too like salamander-y. And my sister said it looks cool and she likes it, but I just kind of wanted it to be a little bit more dragon. But that's okay. Like I said, we're just practicing and just trying things out so that I can have a really good idea for the big one. Then that's the important one. So yeah, so I went in with some purples. I really liked this purple color on top. And I could have probably done a little bit of teal or something and stopped there, but I had like pink and I think there's some green in there by the end. So it does still look really cool and it looks very smooth as well. Like there is no scales per se that you can see in the texture of the skin. So at least it's different from the other dragons in respect to what the texture of it looks like and the warm color palette. So it did make a good addition to the sketch page, I think. So there's always that. And it doesn't really matter. This stuff is just for practice. So I don't really, I'm not too bothered by it because I did learn stuff by doing it. And that's what matters with the sketch page. So I did the background warm on this one because I wanted it to look like it was really in hot weather, basically. And I did these little neon kind of stripes and where it was neon on the dragon to kind of blend it in, and I really like how that turned out. So that's probably my favorite part, is that little bit of texture to the background, if you get what I'm saying with that. So this one was the underwater dragon, the last one, and I decided to give it 2 sets of eyes, which I liked that, and the pupils are these weird little crosses. I don't know why I did that, but I wanted it to look creepy because underwater is creepy to me, so I wanted that. And for the gills, I looked up what shark gills looked like. I kind of wanted it to be smooth like a shark. That's sort of the texture and feeling of like what the skin is, if that's what was in my head. And I wanted to do some sort of spots on top to kind of make it look a little bit more magical, a little bit more different than just like a regular fish. I wanted to make it sort of like bright, when there's like the bioluminescent kind of spots that some fish have. I wanted to do sort of that. And I imagine that this dragon lives deep underwater and is really creepy, but it's also smiling. So every time I try to do something that's creepy, which is really what I like looking at when I look at art, stuff that is like a little bit weird looking, I always end up making it like too cute, and that's my problem. And that's what I think happened here, is that this looks a little too cute to me when I was going for more of a creepy vibe, but I think it fits in well with the other dragon, so I don't really regret it. I think it's okay. It was a little tricky to render out the spots, so I used my Faber-Castell white pen again, and that always saves me. It always helps. I really recommend to get one because if ever you're in a jam and you need to lighten something up, you can color over it as well. So it's really, really a useful tool to have. Yeah, and the lighting was difficult on this one because obviously lighting underwater is a lot different than above water in regular life. So I always have a hard time figuring that one out because obviously there is no sun deep underwater where this dragon would live. So I just went with let's do some cool colors and just have fun and then stop when I stop having fun. And that's what I did. And sorry if some of these dragons are not technically considered dragons because they're underwater or there's something else about dragons that I don't know because I don't know the full. Like, I know there's like different names for different types of dragons. My dad was telling me that. So sorry if I messed that up, but to me, these are the dragons. And I like how this sketch page turned out, and I learned a lot from it. So I think I'm finally ready to tackle the big illustration that I've been working on after I just practice a couple more things because it's not just dragons in there. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye.